4 Keys to Eternal Happiness. Part 1. Survive Happily. Hi. Through this lecture you will learn the secrets to living a happy life for a lifetime. Additionally, you will get fundamental healing of body and mind, from depression to adult diseases. Prologue. What is the purpose of life? From a genetic perspective, the purpose of human life is as follows. The body of all living beings, including humans, is a DNA carrier for passing on genes to future generations. Source from the selfish gene. But let's think of ourselves separately from the body as human beings with ego. Humans have different purposes in their lives, but they can all come down to one. The purpose of life is happiness. Some people are addicted in strong stimuli to become happy. Alcohol, smoking, drugs, gambling, and sex. Some people feel happy when they buy material things. Cars, luxury goods, clothes, shoes, jewelry, and figures. Some people feel happy when they eat delicious food. And some people find joy in new experiences, travel, camping, and amusement park. And the joy of relying on something like that doesn't last long. The joy that comes from traveling lasts longer than shopping. But people who love traveling take another trip in a few months later because the joy doesn't last long. I'm not talking about instant happiness that burns and disappears temporarily. I'm trying to suggest a direction of life in which happiness lasts for a lifetime, or at least over 10 years. People spend a lot of things in their entire lives, even though most people think they are unhappy. I am going to talk about the 4 most important key factors among the many conditions necessary for eternal happiness. And these 4 keys are connected to each other. The first key to eternal happiness. Surviving cost.
What do you think is the most basic requirement for a human to be happy throughout life?
Human needs many things to live. House, clothes, food, car, bed, furniture, dishes, medical service, etc. And to buy the things necessary for survival, money is needed. In order to be happy, you need to be able to survive without any difficulties. And for that, money is an essential requirement. In primitive times, people made foods and goods they needed by themselves, but in modern times, people can buy everything with money. Conversely, it's an era where you can't buy anything without money. Warren Buffett once said, "Money is not everything. Make sure you earn a lot before speaking such nonsense." Korea has the highest suicide rate in the world. The main causes of suicide among Koreans are poverty, work stress, depression, and poor health. The first and second causes of suicide are related to money. This is proof that money is a very important factor in human happiness.
So, how much money should I have?
The more money you have, the better. That's true, but only if the time and effort spent making money are the same. Below is a graph showing the relationship between income and happiness. When you are poor, as your income increases, your happiness index also increases. However, once your income exceeds a certain level, your happiness index stops increasing. If we think about it the other way around, it means that you cannot be happy if you do not have even the minimum living cost. Having a lot of money doesn't make everyone happy, but you can't be happy without the necessary surviving costs. That is why the costs necessary for survival are the most basic key to eternal happiness. Resting page. A battle between a Navy captain and a Navy private. A warship was sailing through the dark night without a moon. but then a light appeared in front of it. Seeing the light appearing in front of the warship, the captain sent a signal with a light.
Turn your course 10 degrees to the west.
The opponent replied,
You turn 10 degrees east.
The angry captain signaled again.
I am a Navy captain. You turn around.
The opponent sent a signal again.
I am a Navy private. You turn around.
The Navy captain, who was furious to the end, sent his final signal.
This ship is a battleship. I cannot change course.
Then the opponent also sent a final signal.
This is a lighthouse. Do whatever you want.
Poverty and family harmony.
I run a clothing store. I've been struggling financially due to lower sales during the pandemic. Thanks to government subsidy, I can afford living cost, but I've always had to save and cut spending. Recently, I have faced another problem besides financial problems. My wife Jennifer and I have been fighting more and getting irritated with each other. Is it because we see each other more often? I don't want to fight with my wife either, but I don't know why this is happening.
Family harmony is not directly related to financial ability. Even if you are poor, your family can have strong relationship and be full of love. Unfortunately, statistics show that fights occur more frequently in poor families. The reason is misunderstanding. When people are stressed, they don't want to admit that they are responsible for it. Most people, when they are stressed, mistakenly believe that they are suffering because of the person next to them. They are giving themselves an excuse. By shifting the blame to their family or friends, the people who are most important to them, they are freeing themselves from the responsibility to solve their own problems. That is why many poor families hurt each other, and thus their lives become miserable. The same goes for war. The reason why people fight among themselves is the same reason why wars occur. The only reason wars and conflicts occur. Incompetence.
It's common to hurt the people closest to me, but I'm afraid of war. Why do people wage war?
Throughout history, countless nations have applied countless excuses and justifications to war. But ultimately, there is only one reason for war. The only one reason why wars occur, because people are incapable of solving their own problems. The action of an incompetent leader of a state to take away other states' property is war. The same goes for individuals. Shoplifting occurs frequently in poor neighborhoods. Characteristics of people who use abusive language and violence when problems arise: lack of ability to solve problems on their own.
Are you saying that poverty is the cause of war and conflict between people?
Let's look at some typical cases where wars break out. 1. The first war began in the early days of agricultural society, when one tribe ran out of food and would take away food from another tribe. 2. The nomadic peoples of North Asia, Hun, Xiongnu, and Mongolia, were always short of food because they could not farm in the grasslands. So they looted other tribes by riding horses. 3. In the Middle Age, Europeans waged the Crusades in the name of the Holy War. Among the nobles who participated in the Crusades, there were many second sons. Since the eldest son inherited all rights, the second son, who could not inherit anything, took advantage of the war. The Crusaders invaded Constantinople, a Christian country, killed the king of a Christian country in the Middle East, and became king himself. 4. After World War I, the German economy was in terrible, and the people's poor lives showed no sign of improving due to the astronomical war reparations. After that, the Germans made a choice: If we're going to live like this, let's all die together. When one's own survival becomes unstable, human does not care about other people's safety. When an individual faces a survival crisis, he harms those around him. And when a nation is in crisis, the whole world is in danger. In this way, the surviving cost is a very important factor in human survival and happiness. Resting page. Things we don't know yet. The sound of a duck quack never echoes. The reason for this is still unknown. All the birds that NASA sent to space as experimental subjects starved to death. NASA researchers forgot that birds couldn't swallow food without gravity. Let's think about the fact that when birds lift their heads after taking a sip of water to borrow gravity to let the water go down. Frogs vomit too. They just do it in a different way. First, they vomit their stomachs, leaving them hanging in their mouths. Then they squeeze the stomachs with their front legs to get the contents out. Then they swallow the stomachs again. Cats are more likely to survive 10-story fall than 7-story fall. Even if cats fall from great heights, they will land gently, but unless they jump of their own, they need as much time as 8-story fall on average until they notice that they're falling. The only way to escape when bitten by a crocodile is to poke its eyes. The longest time a chicken flew in the air was 13 seconds. You can brew a cup of coffee by using the sound energy generated when a person screams continuously for 8 years, 7 months, and 6 days. In the party-heavy United States, you're more likely to die from a popping champagne cork than from a poisonous spider bite. The only thing we can buy with money. Labor.
If money is so important, what can we buy with money? Can we buy happiness with money?
We can buy a lot of things with money, but after all, there is only one thing what we can buy with money. The only thing we can buy with money is human labor. 1. When I buy a pencil, the money is split and distributed to many people. People who make raw materials, an architect who built a pencil factory, workers who work in a factory, truck drivers, stationery store owners, etc. 2. When I buy meat, the money I pay does not go to the animals. It goes to the farm owner, butcher, distributor, and retailer. 3. When a restaurant hires robot employees, the salary goes into the pockets of the people who created the robots, not the robots. The destination of unearned income.
You said that the only thing what we can buy with money is labor, but that's not true. Aren't building owners and investors people who make money regardless of labor?
Money is a payment for labor, and that is what it should be. It is a healthy economic activity when you receive money when your labor is helpful to someone. If I steal money, I gain, but the person who lost the money doesn't get anything. That's why crime cannot be a job. If there are many people who earn money without working, the economy will not be healthy. The answer to the result can be found in the following historical events. The Great Depression of 1929. The collapse of Japan's real estate bubble in 1991. The Lehman Brothers crisis of 2008. Inflation in Venezuela in the 2020s. The dilemma of labor.
If the number 1 and 2 causes of suicide are poverty and stress, isn't it a problem whether we have money or not?
After all, we need to work to earn money, and we call it a job. Everyone likes money, but earning money brings stress. The more you work, the more money you earn, and the more stress you have. The job that people start to be happy leads them to unhappiness. So, we need the second key to solve the problem of stress that comes with money. Resting page. Darwin Awards 1. A young Canadian man mixed gasoline and milk and drank it because he didn't have money to buy alcohol. Naturally, he got a stomachache and vomited on the fireplace in his house. The fireplace exploded, blowing up his house and killing him and his sister who was in the house. 3 Brazilian men died in a plane crash. The cause of death seems to have crashed because they missed the control while showing their hips against another plane during the flight. When the bodies were found, all their pants were down to their ankles. A 22-year-old American man died while bungee jumping. He jumped from a high-level train with dozens of octopus legs taped together. Police said the rope was longer than the height of the train. A gas leak occurred at a medium-sized warehouse in Texas. The company immediately shut down all sources of ignition and evacuated employees. 2 people were dispatched from the gas company. One of the employees who entered the warehouse for the inspection turned on a lighter when the lights did not turn on. The warehouse exploded completely, and there was no trace of the 2 bodies. The second key. What is a job?
Nice to meet you. I'm trying to find my future career, and I need some advice. What kind of career would be good?
Do what makes your heart beat.
Thank you for teaching me for the past year. I have a question. What do you think a job is?
What is a job? Doing the work that others don't want to do and getting paid for it. Earning a lot of money requires a lot of study, hard work, and stress. There is no job that is not hard or stress-free. However, depending on the person, there may be a job that is less hard and less painful. The second key to eternal happiness. Favorite job.
You said that stress is essential to a job. Is there a dream job where I can make a lot of money with less stress?
To find a job that suits you, you need to find a job that satisfies all 3 of the following conditions: favorite job, skillful job, and high-pay job. But unfortunately, a job that satisfies all of them doesn't guarantee a lot of money, since most of them are artists or travel YouTubers. But low compensation doesn't mean it's a bad job. You can live happily with just enough money to survive.
I work to be happy, but I'm not happy because of the stress from work. What should I do?
If you work hard, you earn a lot of money, but your stress level also increases. So, to solve the stress that comes with money, you need the second key. This is the second key to eternal happiness. Turn your hobby into a career. Doing something you love will help you have less stress, be happier, and make money. Resting page. Darwin Awards. 2. A young man robbed a small store in Colorado. While the clerk was putting money in, the young man saw some alcohol on the shelf and demanded that put it in a bag as well. When the clerk asked,
Are you over 21?
the young man showed his ID. After confirming that he was over 21, the clerk gave him the alcohol. 2 hours later, the police arrested the young man. The police, who received a report of a stolen car, called the car phone inside the car and said,
I saw the ad. I want to buy the car.
The thief was immediately arrested. A man tried to rob a bank in San Francisco. I have a gun. Put money in this bag. He wrote on a bank sheet and waited in line at the counter. But he was worried that someone might see him wrote it, so he crossed the street to another bank. When he showed the paper to a bank employee, she realized that the robber was stupid and said,
This is AA bank paper, so we can't give you the money? Write it on our paper again or go across the street to AA bank.
The robber said he knew and went back to the bank he had been at. When the police arrived, he was still in line at the AA bank counter. Little pay, but a favorite job.
My job is an accountant. It's a cool job, but I don't enjoy calculating numbers. I recently had a baby, and since then, I've had a lot more childcare and housework. It's hard on my body, so my job, which I usually hate, feels even harder. I've learned graphic design before, and the practice I did at that time was very fun. I have never felt that kind of joy in my current job.
If your job is stressful, you will never be happy. I recommend you start working as a freelance graphic designer. The income will be small, but the stress of work will be much less. When you don't have work, you can make pottery or accessories and sell them at the market. You may not be able to afford an expensive education for your children, but if you teach them yourself, you will have more time with your family, and your children will be happier. Many people think that it is better to work hard and earn money to provide their families with nice products and expensive education than to spend time with their families, because humans are forgetful animals. Do you remember what you wanted from your parents when you were a child? A high-quality education? More allowance? Everyone wants their parents' love more than material wealth when they are young. And when children become adults, they repeat the same mistakes as their parents. If parents are unhappy, the stress is passed on to their children. Doing job you love, even if the financial rewards are small, will help you be a more caring parent to your children and spend more time with your family. If you have a child, please remember this. This moment will never come back again forever. Thank you for attending this lecture. See you in the part 2.